Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about presidential elections and it is an important editorial, beyond any doubt. And there are a few words, important words you can learn, you have to learn. Let us start the session with editorial vocabulary. Give me a second. The first word, narrative. The word narrative, literal meaning, it means a story. Here, another meaning, a spoken or written account of connected events, either spoken or written account of connected events. Narrative, you can also, the typical meaning, literal meaning, a story. The second word, an important one, poised. Poised means what? Part of speech, adjective, having a composed and self assured manner. Poised, having a composed and self assured manner. This is again an important word. Balanced, also, you can say. The third one, testimony. We have got this recently. Part of speech, noun, evidence or proof of something. Something is either evidence or proof, then we use this word. Subaltern, we have got for the first time this word. What is the meaning? First, what is a part of speech? Adjective. Subaltern means of lower status. This goes more with social status, and lower status we use the word subaltern. The next word is also an important word, aboriginal. Though we have got a few times, it is important from the exam point of view. Uh, Based on the synonyms, many a time they have given the word aboriginal singular, aboriginals plural. What does it mean? Inhabiting or existing in a land from the earliest times or from before the arrival of colonists. Simply one word, indigenous, indigenous people, native, local, and also original inhabitants. We use the word indigenous and aboriginal. Sustained, we have got a few times. What is the meaning of the word sustained? Sustainability, a different meaning altogether, but sustained efforts means what? Part of speech adjective, continuing for an extended period or without interruption. Something is continued for a long time without any interruption. We use sustained efforts. He could not sustain the conversation for a long time. He could not continue. Remember the word subaltern, an important word, aboriginal, an important word, sustained. I think we got yesterday relentless efforts. Same combination has been used today in the editorial. Unceasingly intense. You try for something without giving up continuously in spite of adversity or hardships. Then we say relentless efforts, relentless, unceasingly intense. Drift away, drifted, it's a verb. But here, adrift. Adrift could be an adjective, it could be an adverb. Failing to reach, in this context, it has two or three meanings. In this context, failing to reach a target or winning position, important. Ideological, ideology, from that you get the word ideological, part of speech adjective, based on or relating to a system of ideas or ideals. Ideals means values, especially concerning economic or political theory and policy. In this context, more political. Radical, another important word, especially of change or action, relating to or affecting the fundamental nature of something, far reaching or thorough. Radical changes means far reaching, different from the fundamental nature of something. an important word. It has many meanings. You can also say he is a radical. He has radical thinking. So different meanings are there. Stark, starkly, obviously adverb, in a way that is severe or harsh in appearance or outline. Something appears harsh, then we say stark. Cocoon goes with butterflies, insects, but in this context, envelope in a protective or comforting way. And this word we have got for the first time, you got to remember, ensconced, part of speech verb. It's a regular verb. Establish or settle someone in a comfortable, safe place. Settle someone in a comfortable or safe place. Then we say ensconced. Not too many words today from the editorial. Optics, it goes with physics, light, but it has another meaning. What is the other meaning of the word optics? Typically, in a political context, editorial is political context, the way in which an event or course of action is perceived by the public. How the public look at a particular incident or event, for that we use the word optics. Consensus, an important word, a general agreement, unanimous agreement. Let us go to the editorial. High office, it talks about the post of the president. What is the main idea of this editorial? The opposition did not use a presidential election to counter the BJP's narrative. There was an opportunity, editorial opines, there was an opportunity for the opposition to counter the BJP's narrative, but they did not use that opportunity. The opposition did not use the presidential election. This is the opportunity to counter the BJP's narrative. There's counter, opposite, oppose. Narrative has two or three meanings. In this context, not exactly a story, a spoken or written account of connected events related to presidential election. The BJP has stolen a march. Steal a march means to win over, to have the upper hand. The BJP has stolen a march over the opposition by naming Draupadi Murmu as its candidate for president. BJP, I'm sure you guys know, named Draupadi Murmu as its candidate for the post of president. By doing so, the BJP has stolen a march over the opposition. With the support of BJP allies, the word ally you have got many a time. What does it mean? Usually it goes with the context of the war. One country supports or joins hands with another country. Then we use the term ally, singular, allies, plural. With the support of BJP allies and regional parties such as Odisha's BJD and Andhra Pradesh's YSRCP, she is poised to win and become the first from a tribal community to occupy the highest office of the republic. If she wins, she'll become the first from a tribal community. And here there's one word, she is poised. In this actual meaning of the word poised, having a composed and self assured manner. You can also think of the word balanced, but here positioned. Poised to win means positioned to win. I should have brought that meaning. But based on the context, here poised does not mean balanced, it means positioned to win and become the first from a tribal community to occupy the highest office of the republic. The significance, we have got this many a time. Significance means what? The importance. The significance of a elevation, elevate means to take to a higher status. The significance of a elevation is particularly pronounced in the 75th year of India's independence. That is again a sort of significant event or coincidence. The importance or the significance of her elevation is particularly pronounced. It stands out in the 75th year of India's independence. A tribal woman succeeding a Dalit. Right now, the president a Dalit, but if she becomes a president, a tribal woman succeeding a Dalit in the highest office of the country is a remarkable testimony to the deepening of Indian democracy, notwithstanding the disturbing signs of the mobilization of subaltern communities for majoritarian politics. It talks about a contrasting situation. Based on that, the word notwithstanding, a tribal woman succeeding a Dalit in the highest office of the country is beyond any doubt a remarkable testimony to the deepening of Indian democracy. There's one word over here. Testimony means what? Evidence or proof of something. It is a proof to the deepening of Indian democracy. Notwithstanding contrasting information, the disturbing signs of the mobilization of subaltern communities. Subaltern we have got for the first time, of lower status, the disturbing signs of the mobilization of subaltern communities for majoritarian politics. This is a contrasting situation, but still, there are two words you have to learn, and it talks about a paradoxical situation. Mrs. Murmu will be the second woman to hold the highest office after Pratibha Patil, and at 64, she'll be the youngest president in the country's history. Second woman and the youngest president in the country's history. Where is she from? She hails from Mayurbhanj in Odisha, part of the region that houses a vast majority of India's aboriginal population. Murmu was a teacher. Here there is one word, aboriginal. Means what? Inhabiting or existing in a land from the earliest times or from before the arrival of colonists. A simple word, indigenous. One word, indigenous. It talks about, these sentences talk about her background. From Mayurbhanj in Odisha, part of the region that houses a vast majority of India's aboriginal population or tribal population. Murmu was a teacher and joined the BJP in 1997. She was a minister in Odisha and the governor of Jharkhand between 2015 and 2021. Her nomination by the BJP for the highest office of the country signifies the party's sustained efforts to incorporate tribal communities politically and culturally, bringing them into the mainstream. Here, there's one word, sustained efforts. You should always consider the combination sustained efforts. Sustained means what? Continuing for an extended period or without interruption. Continuing for an extended period or without interruption. Sustained efforts to include tribal communities politically and culturally. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's personal signature on the decision is unmistakable and is in line with means it goes with something, it does not contradict, in line with his relentless efforts. Relentless means what? Without stopping, unceasingly intense, to expand the BJP social base wide and far. With numbers tilted in the BJP's favor, if you look at the chances are more for the BJP candidate. With the numbers tilted in the BJP's favor, the opposition could have only used the contest for the highest office as an opportunity for political messaging. Could have used, it talks about a past possibility. It talks about there was an opportunity for the opposition. And what is that opportunity? Presidential election. They could have used the contest for the highest office as an opportunity for political messaging. They should have sent a political message while nominating a particular candidate, but the editorial opines they haven't done it. With numbers tilted in the BJP's favor, it's obvious that BJP's candidate is going to win. Based on that, with numbers tilted in the BJP's favor, the opposition could have only used the contest for the highest office as an opportunity for political messaging. Instead of that, the joint candidate of the opposition parties, Yashwant Sinha, a former BJP leader and union minister in the Janata Dal and BJP governments, hardly serves that purpose. The opposition is not in a position to send any message, and that's what the editorial opines. For all his track record, he was an IAS officer, central minister. For all his track record, Mr. Sinha hardly represents anything political. There is nothing political. He does not represent anything, hardly represents negative connotation, anything political. And by selecting him as the opposition candidate, there is no message to be given. That he turned into a strong critic of Mr. Modi after being ignored for positions, if anything, weakens any claim of his candidacy, being an ideological counter to the BJP. He criticized, initially, he was part of the BJP and he was a minister, but later he started criticizing that he turned into a strong critic of Mr. Modi after being ignored for positions. If anything, weakens any claim. It is not a strong thing. Weakens any claim of his candidacy, being an ideological counter to the BJP. Here, ideological counter. BJP wanted a person from the tribal communities to represent the highest office, and that goes with ideological thing. And also the second woman. There are so many factors, but here, when it comes to Mr. Sinha, nothing of that kind. Being as being an ideological counter to the BJP. There's one word over here, ideological, based on or relating to a system of ideas and ideals, especially concerning economic or political theory and policy. In this context, political, not economic. The lack of imagination, initiative, and capacity for any radical politics in the opposition comes across starkly in the selection of the candidate. They selected Yashwant Sinha, and based on that, the editorial says the lack of imagination, initiative, and capacity for any radical politics. There's one word over here, radical, especially of change or action, something that is drastic, relating to or affecting the fundamental nature of something. Now, if you look at the BJP's candidate representing the tribal community for the first time, that is radical. But here, when it comes to the opposition, nothing radical. And based on that, it says lack of imagination, initiative, and capacity. Starkly, there is one word, stark, adjective, starkly, adverb, in a way that is severe or harsh in appearance or outline. While Mr. Modi uses every election as an opportunity to respond to group aspirations of various communities, different communities always want representation, and Mr. Modi uses every election as an opportunity to respond to group aspirations of various communities. The opposition remains adrift and ensconced in cocoons. But on the contrary, the opposition remains adrift. Another word, adrift, means what? Failing to reach a target or winning position. And ensconced we have got for the first time. Establish or settle someone in a comfortable, safe place. Ensconced in cocoons. Cocoon, it goes with insects. In this context, envelop in a protective or comforting way. So it shows that the opposition, editorial opines, opposition could not use the opportunity, one thing, and they were not imaginative, they did not take the initiative, and lacked the capacity for any radical politics. That Mr. Sinha comes from a tribal state, Jharkhand, makes the optics of this contest even more damaging for the opposition. He comes from a tribal state. Which one is that? Jharkhand. And this makes the optics of this contest even more damaging for the opposition. Optics. In this context, the way in which an event or course of action is perceived by the public. The opposition is right to point out that the BJP did not make any serious effort to field a consensus candidate. The opposition is right in a way, right? When it comes to which aspect? The opposition is right to point out that the BJP did not make any serious effort to field a consensus candidate, common candidate. There's one word over here, consensus. What does it mean? A general agreement without any opposition, unanimous. You have to recollect the word unanimous. But excusing its own limitations by blaming the BJP is self defeating. That cannot be justified. This proved to be yet another missed opportunity for the opposition. This is the main idea. This turned out to be, here turn out a phrasal verb, proved to be yet another missed opportunity for the opposition to construct a counter narrative to the BJP, opposite narrative to the BJP, which is inclusive in its messaging, inclusive nature, taking every community into consideration in instances such as this, while not giving up its pursuit of an exclusivist politics. They are doing both at the same time, the BJP, inclusive in its messaging in instances such as this, while not giving up. Give up means it's also a phrasal verb to stop doing something. Its pursuit of an exclusivist politics. Politics, exclusive approach. But when it comes to representing different communities or aspirations of different communities, inclusive in nature. It ends on that particular note, I suppose. Yes, that's all about the editorial. An important editorial, it's all about the presidential election, definitely. They may not give the same thing as a passage, but related to presidential election, the factors behind the impact, definitely you can expect either in prelims or mains as a passage. What are the questions you can think of based on this editorial comprehension point of view? What is this editorial about? You should write what is a remarkable testimony to the deepening of Indian democracy? Again, key words deepening of Indian democracy. What signifies Murmu's nomination by the BJP for the highest office of the country? What comes across starkly in the selection of the candidate by the opposition? Lack of something. All these you can answer based on the key words. What is self defeating in the context of the editorial? Only one expression, self defeating. You have to navigate, locate, and write the answer. Now let us go to practice questions based on exam topics. But before we do that, you have to listen to the instructions. Today, you have two questions based on error location, but each sentence you have two errors, not one error. You have to spot two errors in each sentence. So read the sentence very carefully and try to spot two errors, not one. Lengthy sentences you got to read very carefully. Such malicious acts, negative or bad, malicious acts of violence aimed at disrupting public safety and undermining security of individuals and the diplomatic corps will not be tolerated. Yes, of course. I think you're talking about the main editorial, Prasads. One is aimed with is not correct. It has to be aimed at. Such malicious acts of violence aimed at, that's right, disrupting, interrupting public safety, and undermining, weakening security of individuals and the diplomatic corps. Corps means what? Dead body. So here the second error, the spelling of that word is CORPS, not PSE. That means a dead body. There are two errors. One is in the second part. Second part, there's an error. And second one, fourth part. Very good, you guys got it. Go to sentence number two. Meanwhile, the two male friends accompanying the woman objected to the latter's behavior, and reportedly the groups exchanged blows and liquor bottles were broke too. Dead body, that's right. Here we are talking about position, not about the time. Based on that, here it is not. Today I will do it, Pritham. I will do it today. Here it should be, you have to recollect two words. One is Later. This is related to time. And what is the other one? The first one is later, and the second one is latter. Double T. It refers to position. Based on that, here this is wrong. It should be double T. Latters. And reportedly the groups exchanged blows, and liquor bottles were broke or broken. They broke the liquor bottles, active voice, past tense. Liquor bottles were broken too, by them, broken. It should be in passive voice, and any sentence in passive voice, the main verb is always in past participle form. Even here we have an error in the second part and another error in the fourth part. That's very good. Now listen to me. Questions 3 and 4, they go with appropriate word. In a way, it is to test your knowledge related to confusing words. In one sentence, you have 4 pairs, and they come under confusing words. You have to select the right word. First, you read, understand the context, only then you can select the right word. The bear which injured 8 persons and caused among villagers died after it was on Tuesday by of forest officials. You better write the word that is better. Here we are talking about an animal. Then it should be bear, bear. Bear can be a verb, it can be a noun. Here it is a noun, animal, polar bear, teddy bear, brown bear, grizzly bear, all these. Bare, bear means uncovered, bare body, barefoot, bare infinitive. The bear which injured 8 persons and caused a scar or scare. When a bear or a tiger starts attacking, people get scared. Scar means a mark, usually on the face. Then we say scar face. And here it is not relevant. It has to be a scare among villagers, means villagers got scared. Scared means frightened. Died after it was. They tranquilized, active voice. It was tranquilized by a team of. So here tranquil means what? Peaceful, calm, does not go with the context. Tranquilized, that means the bear must have become inactive, a different state, go to a different state. On Tuesday by a team. TEAM is the right word. TWEM, to be in abundance. Team of insects. Teeming, the place is teeming with insects, means full of insects, a different meaning altogether. Let us go to question number 4. The Union Cabinet last week. Here, week, what is the spelling? It has to be double E. Cleared the decks for the first action or auction. Based on contextual awareness, it is not action, auction. Okay. Harry Potter has a scar on his forehead. Of radio spectrum to facilitate. Felicitation goes with success. Here it is not about success. Facilitate, to provide. Felicitation, praising publicly, conducting an event, not relevant here. Facilitate, to provide. The rollout. Roll off is not correct. Roll out is a right phrasal verb. Of 5G telecommunication services. Under pressure, they may disturb. Here, everything looks simple and easy, but under pressure, a bit difficult to make out because of the time factor. Today also I have brought 2 foreign words. Try to look at these and get de jure. First one, they are related in a way. 5 and 6. Thank you, Prasads. Yesterday also I brought By right, by birth, by word, by mistake, in fact. These are not easy, these two terms. If you read English newspapers regularly, you come across these terms. No, by birth is not correct. No, no, by birth is not correct. Look at the word jury, jurisdiction. You can guess that way. Answer is the first option, by right. By right is the answer. Very good. This goes with, if you take today in our country, who has the actual power? Who is the head of the country? The president. By right, the president has the power. The de jure head is the president. Now let us go to the next one. You should be able to guess. De facto, de jure, de facto. Already we have chosen this for de jure, not the answer. By birth, by word, by mistake, in fact. So what is the answer? This is also an easy one. Confusing similar words. No, no, not by birth, not at all. There's a word, facto. Easy to guess. Based on that, in fact, in reality, president is a de jure head. In reality, who has the power, the president or the prime minister? The prime minister. The PM is a de facto head of the country. The president is a de jure head, and the prime minister is a de facto head. In reality, in fact. Now, listen to me. This is again a new pattern. You have three sentences, same context, only one sentence is correct, and out of three, one sentence is contextually, grammatically correct. You have to choose that sentence. That should be your answer. Question number 7 and question number 8 also. Correct sentence. Usually they give 4 or 5 sentences, but here, space constraint, I had to bring 3. You have to read meticulously. Twittering birds have it the age of retirement of Supreme Court of India judges is to be increased to 67 years. Please read very carefully. This is not easy. Only Sai Kumar has got it right. It is not C. Here we have to use twittering birds have it that is missing, so it is not correct. And here, why is it wrong? Answer is the second one, B, not C. What is wrong with C? Is increased. The age of retirement of Supreme Court of India judges is increased too. Is to be increased. It should be in passive voice, not in active voice. Is to be increased to 67 years. Answer is B, not easy under pressure. Twittering birds have it that the age of retirement of Supreme Court of India judges is to be increased to 67 years. Here, two things are important. One is you got to read quickly, meticulously. And second, you have to take the elimination approach. Only then you can get the correct option. Of the 3 sentences, only one is correct, 2 are wrong. Question number 8, same pattern. Consumer confidence in air travel has helped the industry recover faster than anticipated. No one has responded this one. How come? Twittering birds means those who always use the platform Twitter and keep sending messages. Those who are active on Twitter, the platform. People, obviously, it goes with people. Those who are active all the time, sending messages, responding to messages. Consumer confidence in air travel has helped the industry recover faster than anticipated. Seems right. What is wrong with the second one? B. Consumer confidence in air travel has help causative verb the industry to recover. Causative verbs in active voice don't take the preposition to. Consumer confidentiality. Confidentiality has a different meaning altogether. Something that has to be kept secret. It doesn't go with this context. The right word is confidence. Based on that, answer is answer is the first one, 8A. Based on the context. See here meanings, but usually what happens if you take a passage, they give 5 questions based on the meanings of the words based on the context. And here, these 2 questions test that particular ability. Read the sentence, understand the context, and try to guess the meaning of rank and file based on the context. Mean English, if you take English language, it has a lot of words, but every word has 2 or 3 meanings. Based on a particular context, the meaning changes. Yes, Divya, causative verbs help, make, get, have also. But exam point of view, help and make you have to remember. You can't afford to forget. The new leaders have been able to galvanize, gather, get the support, collect the rank and file, and set the rickety organizational apparatus in order to an extent. Status and power, oh, all of you, the same thing, unfortunately not correct. D, you all have the same wavelength, except one, Shankar. Other students, I think Sahira also. It is B, very good. Only 2 students have got it right. Rank and file, it goes with a party, political party, not the leaders, ordinary party workers. Galvanize a rank and file means galvanize, gather, ordinary party workers. Context is politics, political party, and the expression is rank and file. Means what? Ordinary party workers, not the leaders. Russia's February invasion triggered an avalanche, an important word, of Western sanctions, and hundreds of businesses have pledged to exit or cut back operations in Russia. Go to the 10th one. It is not A. No. Please read the sentence carefully. Understand the context. A is a literal meaning. Avalanche means what? A mass of snow moving down a slope, down a hill. Then we use the word, that is a literal meaning of the word avalanche. But the context has nothing to do with that meaning. You have to decide between B and C. But Western sanctions, sanctions singular or plural? Plural. Then you cannot say sudden arrival of something. Not correct. Too many things, plural, that arrive at the same time. Too many sanctions at the same time. Answer is C. Purely based on contextual awareness. You all must have seen the movie Bahubali. One or two, I'm not quite sure, I don't remember. But they have shown avalanche. That is a mass of snow, usually glaciers. They move very fast down a hill, down a mountain, And when they fall down, they cause havoc. That is the literal meaning of avalanche. But in this context, too many things that arrive at the same time. Western sanctions, obviously. Now, this in last year, not last year, 2018 and 19, listen to the instructions. 18 and 19, they gave new patterns. And what they did, they gave a sentence. What is this first part? Pritham, what do you mean by first part? Which question? Please mention the question number. Bharat also says part 1. What do you mean by part 1? Are you talking about question number 10 or 11? Listen to the instructions. Here, in one particular exam, new pattern, they gave a sentence. Oh, you mean to say Bahubali part 1? Okay, thank you. I got it. In one exam, they gave a sentence and they wanted the candidates to change that sentence to interrogative form. I got it. I got it. So, here, it's a lengthy sentence. I have brought the clause, one clause in red. There was no, don't consider but. There was no respite for people across the flood hit areas. So many guys find it amusing. Master asking, what do you mean by part? Part 1, part 2, which part? Anyhow, for a change, it's good. So there was no respite for people across the flood hit areas. You have to write, this is the statement, affirmative form. You have to write the interrogative form for the same clause. It is not that easy. You have to write. No, no, don't stop with a few words, Krishna. Write the complete form. Was there? You have to go beyond. That's the reason why I have brought. You all know the technique I usually give my students a technique. How to change a sentence from affirmative to interrogative. You have to shift the helping verb to the first place and rewrite. But exceptions are there. Very good. Who is this? Jyotsna. I appreciate that. Had it been that easy, I wouldn't have brought. Here, there was no respite for people across the flooded areas. When you try to change it to interrogative form, obviously you have to start with the helping verb was there. You have to use the word any. Was there any respite? Interrogative and negative forms, we use the word any. Other words are repeated. It doesn't matter. Not that important. But what they expect from the candidates, whether the candidates know that they have to use the word any. Was there any respite for people across the flooded areas? Then it is correct. Here, the most important thing, was there any? Any is a word you have to focus on. The petitioner's apprehension, feeling that something bad is going to happen. The petitioner's apprehension that the accused police officers would be shielded by the police is therefore devoid of merit. Here, you have to change it to, again, this is a clause. The accused police officers would be shielded by the police. Change it to negative interrogative form. What is a negative interrogative form? Complete sentence would be better. Still, I appreciate that. Here, negative interrogative. It should be a question. At the same time, negative. Based on that, it should be would not, short form, wouldn't, complete. Wouldn't the police officers be shielded by the police? Question mark. Because it is a question, interrogative. But here we have used wouldn't, it is negative. Based on that, this sentence form is called negative interrogative. Regular classes, I give one example. Haven't you posted the letters yet? But here, wouldn't the police officers be shielded by the police? Wouldn't the accused police officers, accused, very good, I appreciate. Under pressure, these are a bit difficult. Now, today, scrambled sentences a different pattern. Yesterday, I brought 1 and 6 given. In between, you have to get the correct order. But today, only 4 parts, you have to get the correct order. Wouldn't the accused police officers be shielded by the police? Question mark. Interrogative, but negative interrogative. You don't need a lot of time here once you make out the subject. US Attorney General Merrick Garland visited Ukraine on visited. Continuation. You visit a particular place or a particular person. Ukraine on Tuesday. Ukraine is a place where it goes with place. Once you know that R is the first one, how many options are there with R? Only one option, that is the answer. You can save your time. US Attorney General Merrick Garland visited Ukraine on Tuesday, where he will discuss efforts to identify, arrest, and prosecute those involved in war crimes. Please mention the question number. Faced chaos cannot be the first one, cannot be the subject. Forcing people to trek cannot be the subject. The network's biggest strike or rush hour commuters in the UK. You have to decide between these two. Here again, rush hour commuters, those who travel long distances in the UK, faced chaos. They faced chaos, confusing situation. Chaos means complete confusion. On Tuesday, why? As railway workers launched the network's biggest strike in more than 3 decades, forcing people to trek to work on foot, by bike, bus, or simply not bother at all. So it starts with R. How many options with R? Eliminate these two, either the first one or the fourth one. Rush hour commuters in the UK faced chaos, subject verb. So RS is not correct, it should be the fourth option. Faced chaos on Tuesday as railway workers launched the network's biggest strike in more than 3 decades, forcing people to trek to work on foot. And again, this is a new pattern. Usually they give 4 words, 1 word is misspelt. But here I have brought 4 words, 2 words are misspelt, not 1 word. You have to identify those 2 words with the wrong spelling. Indomitable, formidable, amicable, admirable. 2 words go with effective English. 3 words. One goes with everyday English. Are we running out of time? 7:49. There are 2 words, not one. Indomitable spirit, very strong, cannot be defeated. In the past, it would go with kings. Now we say indomitable. What is the spelling of indomitable? It is not E, it should be A. Indomitable spirit cannot be defeated, very strong. And the other one, formidable, it is not U, it should be O. Formidable, Formidable. Amicable, friendly, nothing wrong. Admirable, you admire someone, respect someone a lot, nothing wrong. But first one is wrong, so is the second one. Very good. Next, combination, exaggeration, hallucination. Admonition. Yes, Sai Arvind, amicable, friendly. I have already said that. It's always better if you write, recollect, write, and you will be able to remember. That helps in consolidation. Good, Krishna. Please go to question number 16. Combination, is anything wrong with the word combination spelling wise? No. But what is the spelling of exaggeration? Is it single G or double G? One letter is missing. Exaggerate, to make something look bigger or greater, uh, to magnify, exaggeration. And hallucination, imagination, nothing wrong. Admonition, is it E or A? Admonition, admonish, scold, chide, reprimand. Yes, Admoni. Let us go to editorial vocabulary, enrich your word power, write the part of speech, the meaning. We still have about 10 minutes, I suppose, 9 minutes. Narrative in this context or literal meaning. What is the literal meaning of part of speech noun? Yes, admonition, Nivedita. It is not the letter E, A. You're right. Narrative, adjective or noun? A spoken or written, not adjective, noun. Poised, poise, a regular verb. And context wise, it could be an adjective. Balanced, positioned. Here, composed. Answer is I. Part of speech, noun, testimony. Evidence or proof of something. Subaltern, a new word we have got for the first time, of lower status. Part of speech, adjective. Answer is C. Subaltern communities means adjective. Aboriginal people, again adjective. Indigenous people. Answer is J. Sustained efforts, again adjective. Means what? Continuing for an uninterrupted period, for a long time. B is the answer. Adrift, it could be an adverb, it could be an adjective. Do remember. Means what? Failing to reach a target. Answer is H. Starkly, obviously adverb. Severe or harsh in appearance. Outline. It also goes with outline. Distinct. Then we say distinct. Cocoon, part of speech, noun. Envelope in a protective layer or protective. Answer is G. Ensconced is a verb. Establish someone or something in a safe place. What are you left with? F. Some of these words are new, we have got for the first time. And what I suggest, whenever you come across a new word, today you may remember, but if you don't do anything about that, after some time you forget. Not easy to remember. So you have to put in extra effort. You have to spend more time. For example, subaltern we have got for the first time. Cocoon, biology students know an easy word, but art students, they may not. Ensconced, These three words, at least two words, subaltern and ensconced, you have to spend some time. Write separately, revise, make your own examples, try to associate, only then you can. Otherwise, after 1 week, you won't be able to recollect the meaning of a particular word which is new to you. And these are not regular words. You don't come across regularly these words, ensconced or subaltern. Words like indigenous, indigenous people, indigenous companies, indigenous industries, we do come across regularly. These are the words. Now we are running out of time, 7:56. You can, would you like to answer? But you have to do it very fast. Jitters means what? Nervous, to have, to be anxious, full of anxiety. Drought. Now you can answer first one and second one quickly. Only yesterday's vocabulary may take some time. The rounds are increasing. Drought, no rains for a long period, dry spell, shortage of water. Vigor, energy, enthusiasm, vigorous, strong, robust. Sweat, keywords you write. That's enough. I have already said three, fourth one you have to. It goes with land, area. Yes. Sweat, an important word. Again, you have to focus on strip of land, large area. Yes. So this is an important word. Submerge, underwater, falter, to lose strength or momentum. Advent, some guys are still with the fourth one. Submerge, not exactly drowned, to be underwater. Cause something to go underwater. Advent means arrival, the advent of the monsoon. Recollect the combinations and the context as well. Context as well. Advent of the monsoon, the editorial. Inherent, inbuilt, intrinsic. Linger, long lasting, you can write that way, last for a long time. Stay at a place for a long time. Horizon, line where earth and sky meet, yes. Just, what is the meaning of the word just? We still have 2 minutes to go. Stay for a long time. Yes, Pritham, you're right. Go to the second lot. Fair, correct, morally right. Pursuit, follow or chase. Very good. Persecution, persecute. Ill treatment based on religion, caste, or beliefs. No one has, no one has written the third one, persecution. Persecution, ill treatment based on religion, caste, anything, are relentless without stopping, relentless efforts you have got today also. You can write simply ill treatment, then it's understood, you know the meaning of the word. Philip, write the key word because you are doing revision. You don't have to write the complete meaning. Encouragement, boost, boost or encourage. Extradite, extradition. Simple boost, that's enough. Hand over, A criminal, a criminal. Yes, that's enough. Send a criminal from a particular country to the country where he committed the crime. Espionage means what? Spying. That's enough. One word, spy, spying. Grave, based on the editorial context. Graveyard, different, but grave threats. That was the context. Grave threats means what? Serious. Yes, very good. Prabha, serious. Yes. Elite, superior group. Very good. That's enough. Autocracy, a system where one person rules. Autocrat. The rich and the famous. Dictatorship, despotism, another word you have to recollect. Now let us go to the words you got yesterday. Sport, sport, a new look means what? Oh, 1 past 8. Not the regular sport. Sport means what? Wear or show or display. Very good, Sairam. And appendage, adding something, something that has been added. Hype, hype, adding, that's enough. Attach, add, extravagant publicity, intensive publicity. Fuss, don't make a fuss. Conversational English. Fuss means what? No one has responded. Not at, for which one? Attack. Unnecessary anxiety or worry. Fuss means that unnecessary. Good. Sairam again. And seize, to grab something using force. Whimsical. Blitz, concerted effort. I skipped that one. Yes, you're right. Who is that, Prabha? Concerted effort. Do something with concerted effort. Whimsical, not based on reason, based on emotion. Whimsical behavior. Whims and fancies. Stalemate, a situation where you can't expect further progress. Yes, that's right. And trailing, lagging behind. Trailing means trailing team, lagging behind or left behind. Fixture, fixture has 2 or 3 meanings. Based on the editorial, context was cricket, matches. You have to recollect the meaning. Fixture means what? A sporting event. Volatile, yes, you can say that also. Capricious, volatile, based on emotion, spontaneous, not based on reason, whimsical. Deadlock, you can say stalemate, very good. Sporting event, yes, that's enough. Sporting event, very good. Hope you guys have got enriched. That's all for today. Thanks for being with me till 4 past 8. Have a nice day and do remember to subscribe and share. And those who want to join the Telegram group, after the session, go to the description of the video and click on the link Murthy's English. You'll be part of the Telegram group. Thank you very much.